So, coming to the module 2 core HR job roles, we would be describing in this the HR recruiter, the HR journalist, the HR business partner, HR BP, training and development officer, HR operations, and employee engagement manager. We are going to talk about all these parameters which core HR job roles are taken care of in module 2. What is an HR recruitment? The process of attracting, screening, selecting, and onboarding the right candidate for job roles within an organization. What does this mean? What is an HR recruitment? An HR recruitment is the process of attracting, screening, selecting, and onboarding the right candidate for job roles within an organization. That means it is the process to attract that person who has to be taken on board. He has to be screened, selected, and then taken on board, the right candidate for the right job with an organization. What are the key stages of recruitment? Now we are going to talk about the key stages of recruitment. Workforce planning, identifying hiring needs based on current and future business goals. Talking about the first bullet, we would be talking about key stages of recruitment. The first one would be workforce planning. The second one would be job posting and sourcing. The third one would be screening applications. The fourth one would be interviews and assessments. The fifth one would be selection and offer. And the sixth one would be onboarding. So, the first one is workforce planning, identifying hiring needs based on current and future business goals, using job portions, LinkedIn and agencies to attract candidates, reviewing resumes and shortlisting based on job critics, conducting evaluations to assess skills, experiences and fit, selection and offer, finalizing the right candidate and extending the job offers, and last but not the least, onboarding, helping new hires integrate smoothly into the organization. What is HR recruitment? Talking about the HR recruitment now, it is a process of attracting, screening and selecting on board right candidates for job roles within an organization. The first one, the key stages for recruitment are, the first one is workforce planning. What is this workforce planning? Identifying hiring needs based on current and future business goals. What are the needs of the company? What is the current scenario and what are the future business goals? On this parameter, workforce planning is done and the candidates are attracted, screened and hired. Job postings and sourcing, using job portals, LinkedIn and agencies to attract candidates. Now, for a particular job, we need to hire candidates. What is job posting and sourcing dealing into? It is using job portals where the employee who is in need of a job drops down his resume, his CV through LinkedIn, and agencies attract candidates. There are agencies sitting in the market who hire candidates on portions of salary parameters, covering all the parameters using job portals, LinkedIn and agencies to attract candidates. This is the second round. This is the second stage. The first stage is workforce planning. What is in this workforce planning? The workforce planning identifies hiring needs based on current and future business goals. The second is job postings and sourcing, using job portals, LinkedIn and agencies to attract candidates. The third is screening applications, reviewing resumes and shortlisting based on job criteria. Now, for a particular job post, we have 10 resumes, 20 resumes. We're not going to hire all those 20 or call all those 20 for the job. So what we do, a team reviews resumes and shortlists based on the job criteria. Whatever the job criteria are, they review the resumes on that job criteria and shortlist them based on job criteria. And after reviewing the resumes, they shortlist and the candidate is taken on that criteria. Interviews and assessments, conducting evaluations to assess skills, experience and fit. Conducting evaluations to assess skills, experiences, and fit means we conduct evaluations to check the skills, what all skills the employee has. Do those skills fit our parameters? Do we need to check in for some other resumes? Do we need to review some other resumes where what is our requirement is the fit with the candidate, the experience is there with the candidate, and he is fit for the job. Selection and offer, finalizing the right candidate and extending the job offer. Now coming to the selection and offer, finalizing the right candidate is a very important procedure. In this procedure, we workforce planning, job postings and sourcing, screening and application, interviews and assessment, selections and offers, finalizing the right candidate and extending the job offers. Onboarding, coming to onboarding now, helping new hires integrate smoothly into the organization. Onboarding is there is a team who onboards the employees, helps them get hired and integrates them smoothly into the organization. Now we have understood the HR recruitment policy. What is the HR recruitment policy? It is the process of attracting, screening, selecting, and onboarding the right candidate for job roles within an organization. Key stages of recruitment are workforce planning, identifying hiring needs based on current and future business goals, job posting and sourcing using job portals, LinkedIn and agencies to attract candidates, screening and applications, reviewing resumes and shortlisting based on job criteria, interviews and assessments, conducting evaluations to assess skills, experiences, and fit, selection and offer, finalizing the right candidate and extending the job offers. The last but not the least is onboarding, helping new hiring integrating smoothly into the organization. As we have understood the HR recruitment, we were talking about module 2 where we are talking about core HR job roles. The first one is the recruitment. We talked about how the recruitment is done. We talked about the various stages of recruitment. Coming to the second slide, we'll be talking about HR journalist. What does an HR journalist mean and what are the key responsibilities of an HR journalist? An HR professional who manages multiple HR functions rather than specializing in one area. They play a vital role in ensuring smooth HR operations across the organization. Now, who is an HR journalist? An HR journalist is a professional who has to manage multiple HR functions rather than specializing in one area. They play a vital, major role in ensuring smooth HR operations across the organization. It is a multitasking job where an HR professional manages multiple HR functions rather than taking one specialization in one area, and they play a vital role in ensuring smooth HR operations across the organization. What are the key responsibilities of this particular journalist? Recruitment support, employee relations, payroll and benefits, policy implementations, performance management, training and development. The first one is recruitment and support, assisting in job posting, interviews, and onboarding. Assisting in job postings, interviews, and onboarding means his responsibility is to assist in job postings and interviews and onboardings. Interviews is not that we got the resume and we are calling the candidate for the, it's a proper channel. In interviews, resumes are taken from various agencies as we described in the earlier PPTs, through LinkedIn, through other job promoters. Then resumes are shortlisted according to the job profiles. After shortlisting the resumes, interviews are aligned, interview panels are made, shortlisting candidates are done, then they are informed All these support systems is the key responsibility area of an HR journalist. And onboarding also is a very important part of this recruitment support. Coming to the next one is employee relation, handling grievances, conflicts, and ensuring a positive workplace. That means the HR should be having employee relations, handling grievances of the employees, whatever grievances employees have according to the schedules, that can be personal, that can be related to the people working around with the team, that can be with salaries, that can be with perks, that can be with appraisals. The problems and grievances can be with the managers, can be with the work atmosphere, it can be various and n number conflicts. Any team member has a conflict with the other team member, doesn't want to work with him, wants to get him on a proper channel, needs to speak to the HR and let him understand the problem, highlight his problem, get back to his problems, understand it and resolve the conflicts, and ensuring a positive workplace. Where two people have particular conflict in between their work, the HR comes in between, tries to solve the conflict, understand it first, and then ensure a positive workplace atmosphere. Third is payroll and benefits, managing attendances, leaves, and employee compensations. Now, payroll and benefits is a very important responsibility of an HR journalist. Managing attendances is very important. Every company has a policy where check-in check-outs are a major important part, working hours are a major important part, where attendances, leave, CL, PL, SLs are concerned. HR payroll team has to keep a proper track of all these things as far as the employees are concerned, their benefits, their mediclaims, their PFs, their leave policies, everything has to be taken care of, and employees compensation has to be decided and beneficially managed accordingly. So payroll plays a very important role in this parameter. Coming to the next one, we would be talking about policy implementation. In policy implementation, we are going to talk about enforcing company policies and HR compliances. As far as the company is concerned, HR company also has a policy which needs to be known to the employee. The employee should be very much aware of the policy of the HR. He should be knowing what are his do's and what are his don'ts. He should be aware what is right for him to do, what is beneficial for him to do, and what are HR compliances, wherein he has to understand the strategies of the HR as far as the women rights are concerned, as far as the male rights are concerned, as far as the other rights are concerned. Every policy implementation is the key responsibility area of an HR journalist to float to the employee. Performance management, coordinating appraisals and feedback processes. As we know, this is a very important factor in an employee's life, whereas appraisals are concerned after the probation period, completion of 1 year with the company. Employees are appraised, they are taken, managers streamline with 3 months 6 months goals of the employees, and as they fulfill their goals, their appraisal forms are sent across to the HR. So coordinating with those appraisal forms and giving feedback and process to the employees, this is a very important factor of performance management, and the HR journalist takes care of this also. Training and development, identifying training needs and organization visions. As far as training needs are concerned, employees needs to grow on various parameters. Companies grow on daily basis. They take softwares as they need to orient themselves, as they need to grow. Every employee doesn't come with a certification, so it is the duty of the HR journalist to train the employees for the development of the company. So talking about the HR journalist role model, what are HR journalists deals into and what are the key responsibility areas of the HR. Coming to the next slide now, we would be talking about HR business partners. Who are HR business partners? An HR professional who works closely with business leaders to align human resources strategy with organizational goals. They act as a strategic consultant rather than just an operational support role. An HR business partner is a person who works closely with business leaders. What does he do? In human resources, HR is related to human resources. He relates to the strategies with the organizational goals and acts strategically as a consultant to the operational support role. What are the key responsibility areas of this HR business partner? The first one is strategic alignment. The second one is change management. The third one is workforce planning. The fourth one is performance coaching. The fifth one is employee engagement. And the sixth one is data driven decision. Strategic alignment means collaborating with leadership to align HR practices with business objectives. That means an HR business partner has to collaborate with leadership to align HR practices with business objectives. He has to collaborate with leaderships to align to strengthen the HR practices with business objectives. He has to understand, he has to implement the policies where his leadership is aligned with the HR practices of the business objectives. Change management, support organizational transformation and employee adaptation. He has to support the organizational transformations, the changes in the organization and employee adaptation, and the employee adapts it at the same time. He has to ensure, he has to bridge a support system where he has to make sure that the employee adapts to the organizational transformations. The changes in the organization are adapted by the employee. That is the role, that is the key responsibility area of an HR business partner. Workforce planning, advise on talent needs, succession planning and resource allocation. It is the duty of the business partner to advise the employees on their talent needs, where they need to grow, where they need to enhance their talents, and then re-imbibe that in the employee, in the company. And succession planning and resource allocations. Succession planning also is a very important major role to be playing in this. And resource allocation, they need to understand which resource needs to be allocated where for proper output and growth in the company. Performance coaching guides managers on team performance, engagement and development, teaches managers how to make the team work in a better atmosphere and bring in their performance and keep them engaged in the development and responsibility areas of the company where they can groom and grow themselves. Employee engagement helps build a positive productive work culture. It's very important to have a positive and a productive work culture in any company, so that anybody who enters as an employee has all the faith with the HR, has all the integrity to the company, works dedicatedly to the company with a positive approach and productive feedback. Data driven decisions, use HR metrics to support strategic planning. There should be a strategic planning so that the employee doesn't feel neglected. He should be monitored timely. His monitoring should be done timely by the manager, so that when it is the time to apprise, when it is the time to orient, we are through with the details and the decisions done by the HR business partner. This was about the HR business partner's role and key responsibility area. The next slide teaches us the training and development officers. What the training and development officers do. Who are they? Training and development officers are responsible for enhancing employee skills, boosting productivity, and supporting career growth through structured learning programs. Training and development officers are persons who are responsible for enhancing employee skills. They have to understand the skills of the employees, they have to work on those skills and enhance those skills and boost the productivity so that they support their career growth. It is about the employees through structured learning program. Every growth doesn't happen all of a sudden. It is a pathway, it is a ladder from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. So monitoring on these skills, monitoring on these growths, only then the productivity can be boosted and the career growth happens. What are the key responsibility areas for this? Training needs analysis, designation training programs, delivering workshops, monitoring progresses, career development support, and maintaining records. Now, talking about the bullet areas of key responsibility areas of the training development officer, we would be discussing the first one is training needs analysis, identifying skill gaps and training requirements. As an employee, every person has gaps in skills, so understanding and identifying those gaps of the employees and giving them suitable trainings will be enhancing the power of training on the employee, grooming him better, and giving a proper feedback to the employee so that the growth is monitored and the company growth increases as well with the employees' growth. Designing training programs, create in-house sessions or coordinate external training. Training and development officers' duty is to create in-house sessions, organize in-house sessions, understand and identify the skill gaps in the employees, accordingly enhance and create sessions to coordinate external training so that the benefits are given to the employees and the same are enhanced in their productive areas. Delivering workshops, conduct training on software skills, technical knowledge, or compliance. Delivering workshops is also a very important factor in training and development officers. They conduct trainings on soft skills. Every next day, things keep on changing, technology keeps on changing, new ideas keep on coming, softwares keep on developing. So it is the prime responsibility of a trainer to develop training development officer to identify the skills gaps and training programs and conduct the same so that the technical knowledge is enhanced. Monitoring progress, evaluating effectiveness through feedback and performance improvements. That means monitor is very important to monitor and evaluate the effectiveness, the effect through feedback. Whatever is taught to them, the feedback is given in the same manner. Whatever the employee learns, he implements it in his day-to-day routine work, and the feedback is given and the performance is highlighted and improved. Career development support helps employees with professional growth and upskilling plans. Definitely, when an employee gets grooming and skill gaps get filled, when he is trained properly with the requirements, when his skills are technically groomed, his knowledge is enhanced, he would be definitely giving and growing on the parameters of growth, and the company would automatically grow. Maintaining records, track participations, assessments, and training impacts. Track participation is very important. We need to keep a track. The same trainings, the same programs should not be rescheduled with all the employees. Every next time a new program, a new schedule should be fixed. This should be tracked. Assessments should be tracked. Whatever best they are learning, whatever best they are given, it should be properly assessed, and the training impact should be proper. It should be helpful, it should be full of recovery, and the development should be enhanced. Now talking about the training and development officer, what did we learn out of this? We learned that Who are training and development officers and what are their key responsibility areas? Coming to the HR operations now. What are HR operations? HR operations refer to the day-to-day administrative tasks and processes that ensure smooth functioning of HR departments. It focuses on efficiency, compliance, and employee support. HR operations refers to day-to-day administration tasks. What are the day-to-day administration tasks of the employees? That ensures smooth functioning of HR departments, and it focuses on the efficiency, compliance, and employee support. HR needs to support the employee, the compliances should be taken care of, efficiency should be monitored, functioning smooth should be taken care of, HR department should be taken care of, HR department should be dealing into day-to-day administrative tasks, they should be seeing the progress and ensuring the smooth functioning of the departments. Key responsibility areas of this are employees onboarding and exit, payroll processing, attendance and leave management, HRIS management, compliance and policy enforcement, employee support system. The key responsibility areas are, first one is employee onboarding and exit, managing documentation, inductions and exit formalities. HR operations includes managing documentations, all the certifications which a new employee gives at the time of entering into an organization. That is the duty of an HR, to manage the documentation, giving the induction, the feedback of the feedback of same is very important. Inductions are related to the knowledge of the company, they are related to what all the company is all about, what are the process and cons of the company, what are the rules and the regulations of the company, and what are the exit formalities of the company. This is the key responsibility area of the HR operations. Second is payroll process. Ensuring accurate and timely salary disbursement is a very important key major area of HR operations. They have to maintain the data of leaves, attendances and everything which relates to ensuring accurate and timely salary disbursement to the employees, so that the employees do not get frustrated, they get their money on time, they are paid on time, and more power is given to the organization and to the work policies. Attendance and leave management, monitoring employee schedules, leaves and absentees. This is again a very important role of an HR operation. HR needs to monitor employee schedules, leaves and absences, so that the attendance, leave formats and salary processes are done on time. Compliance and policy enforcement, ensuring adherence to labor laws and company policies. Many employees have problems related to labor laws, and HR should be having every related information of these policies through the company. Employee support services, addressing queries related to HR policies, benefits and more. HR should be addressing queries, HR should be having the capability of addressing the queries, the questions related to HR policy, their benefits. Every organization should be aware that an employee can be only retained when he is given a proper feedback, when he is aware of the HR policies, when he is aware of his leave policy, when he is aware of his mediclaim, when he is aware of his PF policies, when he is aware when, how and where he is getting power and enforcement from the HR. If all these things are regulatory and on time, HR doesn't lose an employee. A good employee can always be retained with all these mandatory responsibilities. Coming to the employee engagement manpower. What is an employee engagement manpower? An HR professional's responsibility is to create a positive work culture that keeps employees motivated, satisfied and committed. This is not in a company only, this is everywhere. Whenever and wherever you need proper feedback, satisfaction, people working for you, motivated for you, committed for you, you have to be a professional in understanding their problems, in creating a positive work culture where the employee feels free to speak, to talk, to come up with his problem, to where he has that awareness that he will be listened, air will be lended to him, and he has to give his best to the company. So an employee engagement manager has to understand that he has to be responsible for creating a positive work culture, and he has to keep the employees motivated, he has to keep the employees satisfied, and he has to be committed to the engagement program. What are the key responsibility areas of this employee engagement manager? Designing engagement strategies, organizing events and achievements, employees feedback and surveys, recognizing and rewarding programs, communication facilitation, and measuring engagement metrics. That means an employee engagement manager, irrespective of the fact, needs to understand to create a positive work culture and to keep the employees motivated, satisfied, and committed. But his key responsibility areas are to plan initiatives to boost the morals, retention, and job satisfaction of the employees. He has to plan initiatives to boost morals of the employees, and he has to see and understand that the employee is satisfied as far as the job is concerned. Organizing events and activities, team building exercises should be there, wellness programs should be there, recognition, anybody who is doing something good in the team, who is bringing in innovations, who is bringing in ideas, who is performing well, he should be acknowledged. This is the prime concern of an employee engagement manager, to enhance the team building exercises and wellness programs, so that recognition of the employees events are done on time and the employee doesn't feel neglected on these parameters. He comes up with more plans, more programs enthusiastically to improve his personal potential and gives growth to the company. Employees feedback and surveys, collect insights through surveys and one-on-one to improve the work environment. It is not that whatever is heard by the employee, the HR lends air to that only. No, he should be collecting the insight through surveys. He should be having a team who is surveying on every individual employee without the information of the employee, and doing one-to-one with the employee, where he is understanding and ensuring that the employee is coming up with all his problems, his positives and negatives to him, and where the employee is confident that his information is not going to be leaked out, and he improves on his work environment. Recognition and reward programs, implementing systems to appreciate, highlight, perform employees. This is again a very important factor. They need to implement systems where they appreciate employees high performing, where there are certain employees in the company who perform well, who are above the mark. Their appreciation is very important. Communication facilitation, encouraging open communication between employees and leadership, and managing engagement metrics, tracking indicators like turnover rates, productivity, and survey scores. So to understand over here is that the employee needs to be encouraged on communication between the employee, and he should be given the leadership skills as well. He should be asked to be focused on leadership, and measuring his engagement metrics is very important. Track indicators are very important. We need to track our employees through turnover rates. We need to do one-to-one with the employees, understand their productivity through their managers, through the reporting team, and survey scores. We need to check the survey scores timely. Are they increasing or are they decreasing? So we understood the employee engagement manager over here, that an employment engagement manager is a person who is responsible for creating a positive work culture between the company and the employees, getting motivated and satisfied and committing to the organization. His key responsibility areas are designing engagement programs and strategies, organizing events and activities, employees feedback and surveys, recognition and reward programs, communication and facilitation, and managing engagement metrics, so that all the parameters are covered timely and a process is being bridged between the employee and the employer, wherein the growth parameters are covered, wherein the growth parameters are marked, and neither the employee nor the employer faces any consequences related to the job responsibilities, related to the salary issues, related to the perks, related to the performances, related to the employees communication, related to the productivity. All these matters are taken care of timely. Thank you.